A game is an opportunity to focus our energy with relentless optimism at something we're good at, or getting better at, and enjoy. In other words, gameplay is the emotional opposite of depression. This quote is from Jane McGonigal in Reality is Broken, Why Games Make Us Better and How They Can Change the World. Now, those of us who have a deep and colorful history with gaming might look at this quote and nod our head in understanding. For those of you who might feel like such a lofty claim is questionable, I have a challenge for you. I want you to think back. Think back to a time during your childhood. Now, I'm not talking about the tumultuous teenage years. I mean those innocent years, maybe 6 or 7. When you think back to those years, think to the time spent with your childhood friends. What memories stand out to you? I can almost guarantee that some of these memories involve playing games. Think about it. Why is it these memories that stand out? There was certainly nothing life-changing occurring during that game of hide-and-go-seek, right? So why did it stick over so many other moments? When you get right down to it, it's because there is that pure, innocent sense of joy that comes with playing. It's a snapshot in time where you were allowed to simply enjoy yourself and have fun. And doesn't that fit quite nicely into this definition of the opposite of depression? So why am I here on Kickstarter talking to you about how games can fundamentally be described as the opposite of depression? Because I strongly believe that together we can bring this joy and freedom to life for others. Just imagine what this concept could do for the world. To have in our grasp that ever-elusive cure to the daily depression that plagues the lives of so many. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not here to tell you that gaming can rid the world of the great rash of depression that seems to have enveloped us in the information age. But what I am saying is that there are opportunities to use gaming to change people's lives for the better, and I've seen it happen. We could talk all day about the problems our country and much of the world faces. Problems like lack of education funding and rising crime rates. But I don't need to reiterate to you these things. You know them and you live them every day. What I want to talk about today is how we can make a difference. What can we do to change that path for just one person? And why stop there? How many lives can we touch? Just how can gaming change the world? When I was running my first business, it was, of course, a game store. It was a small local store, and while I did spend at least one weekend a month traveling to events, the bulk of my time was spent at my little store, running smaller events and bringing a community together. Our Friday night tournament would end at 1 or 2 in the morning most weeks. Now you would think at this point that parents would no longer allow their children to come to the events. Does any parent want their 12-year-old kid out at 1 in the morning in Las Vegas, Nevada? That's right, we were smack in the middle of Sin City. But those kids came anyway, and their parents showed up at 1 a.m. to take them home. And one of these nights I was talking casually to the parents of one of the young children who spent most of his time at the store. The question came about, of course, about having to come get their son so late at night. They looked at me, all serious and heartfelt eyes, and they thanked me. They thanked me profusely as if I were a doctor who had just saved their son's life through some great surgical feat. And they told me that it was my store that kept their kid off the streets. They told me they would gladly pay for games to know that the money they gave him wasn't going to drugs. They told me that picking him up at 1 a.m. on Friday wasn't such a big price to pay when you looked at the bigger picture. That's the moment I realized just how right they were, and how many lives we could touch or even save. If you clicked on this project, I would imagine that you're interested in knowing just how we plan to use gaming to change the world. The end goal of Infinite Gaming is to open a community center that focuses on gaming. Tabletop, video games, it takes all types. Our goal is to give the youth of our country, and even those that are just youthful at heart, a place to spend their time pursuing positive life skills. Let's create a community where we cultivate the social and cooperative, and of course at times competitive, skills that gaming can teach us. Let's explore the opposite of depression together. Consider this. Ben Cordell says, in How Gamers Are Changing the World for the Better, we've managed to help make great steps towards curing life-shattering diseases such as HIV and cancer. In 2011, gamers solved a molecular puzzle with the potential to find a cure for AIDS that had stumped scientists for 10 years in a matter of 10 days. In How Gamers Are Changing the World for the Better, Ben Cordell tells us that we've managed to help make great steps towards curing life-shattering diseases such as HIV and cancer. In 2011, gamers solved a molecular puzzle with the potential to find a cure for AIDS that stumped scientists for 10 years in a matter of 10 days. Now, before we get too excited here, let me explain in a little more detail. We all know Rome wasn't built in a day, and I certainly know that businesses aren't either. So what we are going to do is move forward one step at a time. Our last Kickstarter campaign helped us incorporate Infinite Gaming, and our next is going to help us take the next step towards funding. Our goal is to use our projects to fund lines of uniquely crafted gaming accessories, most 3D printed, to help make the revenue necessary to open the actual location. This project funding will be used to help us complete the necessary market research to complete our business plan, and hopefully purchase the company our own 3D printer to cut some of the costs associated in the following projects. If you are interested in knowing more about the business and gaming background of Infinite Gaming founders, please feel free to ask us questions in the comments. So our main focus here is going to be our first 4 lines of dragon dice. 1 set each for the Dungeons & Dragons types, electric, acid, fire, and cold. There are certainly other perks available in our tiers, and remember, you aren't just here buying dice, you're helping us create a place for gamers to gather together and enjoy their favorite hobbies in a fun and safe environment. A place where someday we will be able to run events and programs to introduce a new generation to the positive forces that gaming can be in our lives. What I need to make this happen is you. Help me change the world. Help me save those lives, even one at a time. Think about the difference that you can help make today. It takes all kinds, and I'm here today to tell you that you can make a difference, and it starts here with supporting my vision so that it becomes our vision. What we need to make this happen is you. Help me change the world. Help me save those lives, even one at a time. Think about the difference that you can help make today. It takes all kinds, and I'm here to tell you that you can make that difference. It starts here with supporting this vision so that it becomes our vision.